Hey crew. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're on lesson number 13. So get to page 349 in your book. Today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at am I going to add or am I going to subtract? Now these are not story problems, these are just regular problems written out like this. So obviously we need to look right here and right here to see what we're going to do, right? But you got to pay attention now because that's going to make a difference in what we're doing. If I'm subtracting, then I need to be looking at these two numbers, see which one is bigger or smaller. If I'm adding, then I'm just going to add these together, see if it's greater than 10, and then carry it to the next number. So it's going to be different depending on what I'm doing. So I have to always look at this sign to see what I'm doing. And don't just assume because the number on top is bigger that you're going to subtract. Because if I look over at number 2, 395 is greater than 367. But I'm still, on this one, adding, okay? So let's start with number 1. First, let's look at the sign. We're subtracting. So now, down at the bottom, you're gonna circle where it says subtract. Circle that, and then we're gonna follow through the steps. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take a look at the ones. Do I need to borrow or ungroup the tens? Well, 2 minus 5. 2 is less than 5. Darn tootin', I'm going to ungroup. So down here where it says ungroup, to get 10 ones, I'm not going to write out the whole thing because I don't have room. But we are going to put a check mark there because, yeah, we sure did. We ungrouped to get 10 ones. That's how we get 12 over here because we ungrouped to 10. Okay, so now 12 minus 5. That equals 7. Now we can look at the tens. 5 minus 9. 5 is less than 9. I need to ungroup again. So we make the 5 15. Cross out the 7. It becomes 6. So down here where it says ungroup to get 10 tens. Absolutely we did that. So we're going to do that again. So now we can subtract. 15 minus 9 equals 6. 6 minus 3 equals 3. And there is number 1. Now let's go on to number 2. Okay? So number 1, we subtracted. We follow the steps up at the top where it's subtracted. The bottom part where it says add, leave it. We didn't have to use that part because all we're doing is subtracting. Now let's go over here to where we're adding. So 5 plus 7. Well, okay, sorry. First things first, we better circle down here where it says we're going to add. So it says add, circle it. There we go. Okay, now we can start adding. So 5 plus 7 equals 12. Carry the 1. Okay, so now, do we make a new 10? Made new 10. Absolutely. So we're going to put a check mark there. Now, let's go ahead and let's go. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 10 plus 6 equals 16. Good. Carry the 1. Oh, doubles fact. 3 and 3 is 6. Plus 1 more is 7. And I have 7. Whoa, dude! It's the same problem! It's just a fact family! Whoa! Woo! Crazy, right? Who knew? Well, I obviously didn't. I wasn't paying attention. But now, as I look at this, now I can look and see, did we make a new 100? Well, sure looks like we made a new 100 to me because I wrote a 1 over there, so we made a new 100. So, that's what you're going to do on the front side of this sheet. If you subtract, circle subtract. If you borrow from the tens, ungroup a 10. Borrow from the hundreds, ungroup 10 tens. Okay? If you don't have to borrow, then don't put a check mark because you're not always going to borrow and you're not always going to carry. So if you don't do that, then don't check mark those boxes, okay? But make sure you look at those signs so you know if you're subtracting or you're adding, okay? The bottom 2 you can do on your own, numbers 3 and 4. Now, on the back side, what we're going to do is we're going to do some checking. And we're going to subtract to check. Now, what I mean by checking is, you know when you come up to my desk, or maybe you have mom and dad or an older brother or sister check your work now, and they look at it and they go, okay, looks good to me. Well, you can check your own work, and here's how you can do it. Okay? let's go with number 5. We have 532 minus 351. Okay, now, what I can do is, I can subtract to find this answer, right? So let's do it. 2 minus 1 equals 1. 3 minus 5, I can't do that. So 3 becomes 13, 5 becomes 4. 13 minus 5 equals 8, 4 minus 3 equals 1, and now my answer is 181. Let's check. Now, we know from fact families that if this is a subtraction problem, this minus this equals this, then we should know this too. This plus this equals this. If I add together my bottom two numbers, I should get my top number. So let's do it. 351 plus 181. Now, you're going to need to write this down in this space to the side. They left you all that space over there, so write it down. There's a line that comes down like this. Write it in that space right there, okay? I'll give you a chance to write that down, because this is what we have to do next. Adding the bottom two numbers together. Okay? Now again, you can add these together in either order. I just always like to put the bigger number on top. Now, let's add these two together. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 5 plus 8 equals 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. My answer is 532. Now, here's where I have to check. This number's the same. This number's the same. Are these two numbers the same? If your answer is yes, and in fact, with us they are, then that's correct. Now, it says draw a math mountain. So in the space underneath, you can go just like this. You can write 532 because that is the top of the mountain. And the bottom two look like this and like that. And that's what your math mountain looks like. Okay? Got it? Good. Okay. Because I need to erase it because I need
the space. My board is a little tiny.
So, here we go. Ready? Okay. We're going to go. And we're going to go just like this. Now, don't follow my example first. I'm going to show you incorrect. So don't write this down as I do it. Just watch. Got it? Just watch. Okay. So, on the second one, number 6, we have 532 plus 181. That's our problem that we're going to solve. Now, I'm going to do it incorrectly. I'm going to show you, how checking can help you when you do this incorrectly, okay? So just watch. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 plus 1 equals 11. 5 plus 1 equals 6. And my answer is 613. Now, I know some of you are sitting out here right now going, I see what you did. You did not do that correctly. Okay, I don't know that because this is my work, and I love my work, and it's the best work ever, and I always do the very best work, and how dare you think I'm wrong? Well, I can check to see if I'm wrong. And here's how I check. When you do an addition problem, you take your sum. Remember, this is the top of your math mountain. Subtract one of the two sides, and then you should get the other side. So I'm going to take my sum, which is 613. Again, I'm going to use my space off to the side here. Don't do this. And I'm going to subtract 532. Now, hopefully, I should get the other number in the fact family, right? Which is 181. But let's see how I do. 3 minus 2 equals 1. 1 minus 3, I can't do. So I'm going to make this 11 and make this 5. 11 minus 3 equals 8. So far I'm looking good. 5 minus 5 equals 0. Okay, and there's my answer. Now, as I look, these two numbers are the same. These two numbers are the same. Not the same. Now I need to look back and see what I did wrong. I wrote all the numbers correctly. However, 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 plus 8 equals... and now I can see my error. I should have carried the 1. Now some of you saw that already, and great, if you see it before you even get to this and you realize I made a mistake, fix it before you do this part. Otherwise you're going to have to do some erasing. So let's go ahead and let's fix this. So you go ahead and work with me on it now, because we're going to do it correctly this time. 2 plus 1 equals 3, nothing to carry. 3 plus 8 equals 11. And now we do carry the 1, even though I didn't do it last time. 1 plus 5 equals 6, plus 1 more equals 7. And my answer is 713. Now let's see if 713 is correct. So I can do the same thing. Take my sum, 713, subtract, and I'm going to subtract 532, the top number, and now I should get 181. Let's check it. 3 minus 2 equals 1. I can't do 1 minus 3, so I'm going to borrow. 11 minus 3 equals 8. I'm liking this better already, because 6 minus 5 equals 1. And those two numbers are the same, those two numbers are the same, and that number is the same. So now I know that this is the correct answer. So now I can write my fact family. And at the top of my math mountain, 713. On one side, 532. And on the other side, 181. Now, here is my word of warning to you. When you get to the checking side, don't just do this. All right, 2 plus 1 equals 3, 3 plus 8 equals 11, 5 plus 1 equals 6, and then come over and go, okay, 613 minus 532 equals 181. Okay, there we go, got it. Did I check? I didn't. I just wrote down these numbers in this order over here, and do I have the right answer? Nope, we just checked and proved that this is not the correct answer. So make sure when you do the checking, go through the whole process, whether it's borrowing or it's carrying, because that's how you check it. That's how mom and dad are going to check your work. It's how big brother, big sister are going to check your work. That's how you need to check it for yourself, okay? So make sure you do that. That's, again, being responsible for your work is checking it over to make sure you have the correct answer. You know how to do it, but sometimes we just make silly mistakes where we forget to carry or we forget to borrow, and then when we check, it can help us to discover those mistakes and then fix them, okay? All right, so that's the back side. You can do those last 4 on your own, and then when you get to the second sheet, which is page 181, same thing. You're just going to do some adding or subtracting, and then do the opposite to check. Then do the back side. You got a whatever thing on the top. What are those things called again? Not a picture graph. Bar graph. Good, bar graph. So read the bar graph, see what's going on there. And on this one, don't do the stretch your thinking, okay? You're welcome. You don't have to stretch your thinking this time, okay? Because I know you have a quick quiz you need to get done, so we'll just skip the stretch your thinking on this, and that'll give you some extra time to work on. And I think we've stretched our thinking enough with all of the checking and stuff like that, okay? All right. Keep up the good work, guys. I'm liking that work. I'm seeing coming back. Make sure you keep at it. We just got a few more weeks of this left. Keep working hard and giving you your best shot, okay? All right. Check you later.